Welcome to Comic Book Creation Live. I'm Space Windu. We'll be drawing Albatross Junction issue number 1 tonight. Again, like we do every single Wednesday. Wednesday is, of course, New Comic Book Day. Albatross Junction live shows is where you get your insider sneak peek every single week inside Albatross Junction, which is a comic series we are making myself and my friend Kevin. He will be here shortly. Let me show you where I'm at on one of these new pages. I think I was working on one of these last time. I took it a little bit farther. I got some glare here. That light. Okay, there we go. I'm working on a little sequence here. It has to do with astronauts in space, which are trying to repair a sun satellite, a solar satellite. Got page 25 and 26 here. I'm going to put some more detail into page 26. Got a character here named Bernadette. Bernadette Hildebrand is leaping over one of these guardrails here, one of these rails. She's kind of landed. She's headed in that direction, leaping over this just as one of her comrades gets smashed with some space junk. There's a bunch of space junk flying down, kind of hitting these people, hitting these comrades of hers. She's holding on here, holding on to this wheel. They were trying to turn this wheel on the previous page, and as you could see, there's going to be they're almost like bullets raining down. That's how fast the space junk moves. If you've seen movies like Gravity or Interstellar, how dangerous and devastating the space debris can be, because a lot of these satellites up in space are damaged, and previous missions to repair them have gone awry. So you got a lot of stuff orbiting the Earth. And it's impossible to track, I guess. It's just too much stuff. Like when this guy gets hit right here, when Fenkarth gets hit, it causes more debris. Every time the debris encircles the Earth, orbits, it'll hit other things. And even if you were to try to track the debris, it's always changing. Ready for the next episode? Hey. Read comics every day. Most of these people on this mission are dead. I think I told you that last Wednesday. This page here just shows a lot of their death. On the next page, we just got like 2 people left behind. 2 people left to finish the job. It looks like we got Mundo in the house. What's going on, Mundo? Mundo, how are you?
I'm in the house, buddy. I'm in the house. I'm doing all right. How about yourself, guys?
Yeah, doing real good. Doing real good.
Yeah. What you working on there, buddy?
This is page 26. This is like, I think I was working on it last time. It's where the astronauts are up in space and they're all kind of getting killed.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because they're trying to work on the... Yeah, I'm trying to add some more detail.
Cool.
And finish it off. And also, because like I have the page that comes right before it is still not finished. This is page 25. It's still not finished, so I'm going to like do a little bit up here and then maybe finish this one off.
Oh, that's cool. I got some friends of mine, Leo Reyna, shout out to him. He's going to check out tonight's episode, and Ashley Williams. They're both going to try to check out our show tonight, man.
Ashley, thank you. And Leo, you said?
Yeah, Leo. Uh-huh.
Nice, thank you. So bringing a couple friends by.
Yeah, dude. Hopefully, they'll check it out tonight and trying to get them interested. So see what happens.
Kev.
What's up, man?
What?
I need a special intro for Kevin. I don't really have one that's like specifically for Kevin.
Yes, you do.
Man,
yes,
I'm about to make one.
Wait.
No.
Yeah, like if Kevin doesn't make one, this is what'll happen. So unless you make your own, you'll get that one.
He does have one, man. It's a real easy fix. It's a fucking easy fix, man.
It's a real easy fix. It's an easy fucking fix.
There's his intro, man. There's his intro. Shit.
Easy fix, man.
There you go. Easy fix.
Yo, Mundo, me and Ann had this webinar today for 2 hours. It was painful, man.
Oh, I bet.
It was painful. I was dying, man. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
I was super happy when it kind of ended a little earlier because I thought it was going to go till 1. And then our instructor was like, okay, well, we kind of covered all the stuff that we needed to cover. And you could tell Kevin was out. He was like, and Kevin had the harder part. Kevin had to do the extra work during that.
I mean, I told her straight up. I was like, listen, man, I'm intimidated as hell. Like, this is a lot. It was a lot, man.
Kev.
What's up? It's
virtual.
Real easy.
Come on.
Yeah, man.
Virtual.
Yeah, man.
Virtual. Clink. There we go.
I got a little bit of wine tonight too.
There you go. I got some more of them seltzers too, but I got do the big boy tonight, man. A lot of drama at work today.
Really?
Drama.
Yeah, I ain't gonna talk about it, but
how many people did you fire?
Oh, if I had the power. No, it's
how many people did you put in a rear naked chokehold?
Too many.
Man, oh man, the Shevitz.
Okay, to further review, I've decided to allow female students.
I like it. I like it. All right.
I made myself a little
Which
something.
one
man.
should I
Check that out. Check that out.
Which
There
one
we
should I
go.
start with?
Let's see what Mundo's got here. What do you got here? Some kind of bong that you made? Some kind of beer bong?
Yeah, it's a deer bong, man. No, man.
You pour
look,
the
it's-
beer at the top, and then the beer goes down. I see that way. Okay, it goes down,
Yeah,
and then
well,
what happens?
see, and then down here I can do my hit, man. Like right up here.
That's official.
So you need one of your kids on a step ladder, and they'll pour the beer in the top, and then you'll be at the bottom there.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly.
You already did the test run today.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm working with the big boy right now.
No, that's a normal sized can of beer. You shrunk last night.
Oh, I should probably hit about 2 more of these. No, I got the seltzers tonight on top of it. So,
Man,
Honey, I Shrunk the Mundo.
That's pretty funny. Pretty damn funny.
but it's a real easy fix, right, Kev?
It's a real easy fix.
It's a real easy fix. You know, it's an easy fucking fix.
It's an easy fucking fix.
Just don't be dealing with this problem.
Oh man!
See, I need to test that shit
Oh
out. Wait,
man! Oh man!
You know what's funny about this? Like, they don't even have like an in-shape dude doing it. So like, they're basically like not making any promises. They're like, look, like that's the best you could hope for. Like, that's what you should be looking for results.
I know I'm not even getting paid for it, right? I mean, shit.
Man, bellies were smaller than mine, bro.
There's a billboard I always pass by when I go to New York. It's always up. It's like even up now in the whole situation. They still got it up. They're still paying for it because it's doctors that are paying for it. It says it's a picture of this doctor, and it says you don't win medals for trying. You win medals for results. It's kind of like a Yoda saying, but it's like for doctors. You know, it's for successful motherfuckers.
Jesus.
And if they were all successful right now, we'd all be cured of everything.
The hell was that?
The roof is falling in on Kevin.
That's Anthony's go-to right there. Pig.
Yo, is my connection slow or are you guys fading out?
I think you're robotic a little bit. Are you sitting in that bad part of the house? See, Kevin will sit in a bad part of the house when he does this show, but he sits in a good part of the house when he talks to other people.
See, I'm in the garage right now. That's funny.
You both sound like robots, so I'm thinking my connection sucks right now.
Yeah, Kev, you're all jacked up.
What do you got stuff on there? You might
I'm all
have to-
jacked up.
Like when
Get smacked up.
like Kevin stopped paying for the internet, so he's trying to bounce everything off of his like cell phone 4G or whatever, and it's just not cutting it.
It's not working. It ain't working.
Yeah, well, you're coming. You're coming.
Muster a
in
good
pretty
connection. You know what's coming through really, really clearly? All your breathing.
What?
All
Yeah.
your breathing is coming through
My breathing?
perfectly.
Yeah. Gonna start
You know what?
sounding like Vader in a
Like
little
my
bit.
nostril, I'm like I gotta lower it. There we go.
He's like working underwater.
He's gonna sound like Vader in a little bit.
Just like a bunch of little beta bitches who are in chat right now. Fuck Space Windu. Fuck Naughty Dog.
Oh, are you serious?
Sheesh.
Anthony, you actually have a critic? Oh my goodness.
No, he wasn't being serious.
No, I know. Come on, if I get too serious, let me know.
Got to get you a bigger can.
For sure, man. Damn.
Did you ever see those gigantic wine bottles that they got sometimes at like a nice like steakhouse or like a nice Italian restaurant? Like, I guess you could buy them, but they're just like kind of on display.
Yeah.
Those are pretty crazy.
I was like, man, I should jack one of them one day.
We need to get one of those as like a prize for something. Wouldn't you love to win one of those gigantic bottles of wine?
Oh yeah. That'd be good. I have to put it up high, man, though, just to pour a glass of wine out of that damn thing.
Yo, Ant, which one of these things should I start?
Like one of those sequence pages would be great that we could put on the web. See, what's going to happen is, like, you remember how I told you that IndieGogo thing might not be editable? Did you find anything out more about it?
Nope.
Okay, so what I think is going on is, like, you can't edit that, right? But I do want like 3 or 4 sequence pages in a row because we are going to actually do the IndieGogo campaign thing pretty soon.
Yeah.
So that's going to be configurable. We need to get it right. So like we need to have the trailer on there. We need to have the, that's going to run for 60 days. So you got to take whatever the October day is and back it up 60 days and hit off that's when you got to kick it off. Now that is very soon. That's like 25 days from now. So
extremely soon.
We hopefully can get those pages 3 or 4 finished, and hopefully lettered pages would be the nicest outcome on the on the IndieGogo campaign. So let me actually just pull that up real quick. I have a window with that. If you go to IndieGogo and you just look in, you just search for Albatross Junction, you will see this will be the first thing to come up. It's our comic book called Albatross Junction, Volume 1. That's really issues 1 and 2. You just sign up here with your email address, and then you'll be locked in for a free poster when the campaign launches in like 20 days. So when the campaign launches, we're going to have a whole new look to the page, but it's going to actually be the same link. It's going to actually be the same link, Kev. It's going to go. Everything's going to go here. This page turns into the pre-launch. I mean, this turns from the pre-launch to the launch. So we'll get our trailer up on this. You'll scroll down. You'll be able to see those 3 sample pages, the synopsis of the book, different whatever descriptions, probably some concept art pieces, maybe some pages that maybe like one page that is just simply inked or just simply penciled. That type of thing. And I don't think that's going to, I don't know if that's like reconfigurable. So that's why I kind of say we got to try to get it right off the bat.
Yeah. And for all my friends and whoever else is watching, thank you guys very much. Come and join us on IndieGogo. I'm already signed up, people. I'm already signed up. Join the train.
Thank you, Mundo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You love comics as much as we do, man. You guys got to check this out.
What's going on here, man?
I do see your tablet has come into the stream. I'll hook that in there.
All right.
Actually, maybe I can bring it in and it would appear small. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's odd. Look what happened, Kev. Like we disappeared. That's crazy.
Oh, and I know exactly why too, because I can't find my damn wire. What's that?
I didn't say anything. Mundo was calling you names.
When do I not?
Mundo was saying something about yo mama.
Yo, I'm gonna go get that wire. You know how this shit is so slow every time I'm going over
You go get whatever you need. We'll still be dropping the beat from the top of New Jersey.
Right? Oh. All right. So what did we decide? What did you and Kev decide as far as snacks for the bar, man, because I got these little chili lime pork skins, man. So
Oh, those look good. Yeah,
they're
whatever we
pretty
wrote
tasty.
down, I actually wrote them into the script. I could read them to you.
Yeah, you had what was it?
I have like a little snack section in the script of
There you go.
El Mundo's what El Mundo's offers to customers.
Yeah. Pretty funny. You get a last snack and a drink on the house before you die.
Okay, here we go. We have. Oh no, wait, that's not it. Okay, El Mundo's drink offerings: thermal meltdown, the thermal thaw, thaw out, nuclear slider, which is on fire, food offerings: bacon bark, hog taffy. That's what I have so far. I don't know if there was any more that I could add, but I could add more.
Yeah.
Maybe if you alter the name of that snack that you have there, that might work.
I was thinking something like, I guess maybe like do we want to do like a little sandwich of some kind, other than just bacon deals, you know?
Yeah, you definitely need something.
Kind of like a last meal or something like that, you know?
Maybe it's kind of like a Cuban sandwich.
How about the beef torpedo?
The beef what?
The beef torpedo.
Torpedo. Sounds sexual.
Oh my god.
Is it real beef?
Well, didn't you say everything was like replicated? So
Yeah.
But we want like.
I just want to know how special it is. Like if it's so special that it's actually real cow, you might have to charge extra.
Yeah. But then there would have to be like I guess you would have to write in like a different, like a small place in the area that I would source it from, you know, that I would have to pay like a big premium just for it.
Yeah, like maybe you have your own farm.
Yeah, I could probably get away with that. I'd have some workers on there, but it's a specialized farm. Oh. Sell your beef bites.
Cellular?
Yeah, sell your beef bites. What do you think about that?
Sounds kind of gross, but that might work.
Well, you got to remember, I mean, it's that far in the future, so
Definitely, it's like if it has the word beef in it, they'll probably, like it's a delicacy to have beef. So yeah, like I think people will like be attracted to just whatever, like that's why in one of our lines of the comic, somebody says like, oh, but it's not even real meat, because it's like it's really hard to find real meat.
Well, here's what I was thinking, and the reason why I said that is because I have like a stock of like those beef shanks that were frozen in time.
Mm-hmm.
That they were, and now all I do is extract the cells from the beef, from the bone marrow, and I put it to where I can actually grow, like
replicate kind of more of it, like make it replicate.
Yeah, like into meat itself.
Oh, so like it's almost like everyone's eating the same beef, like the same. Like I can think of a funny line where like someone comes in like the second week and they're like, I want the same thing I had last week or something like that, and you're like, don't worry, it'll be exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's like literally like it's a duplicate.
It has to be. It has to be. But we could say like I've got a stock of like millions of beef shanks that are frozen. They'll never go bad. But what I do is I just extract, and when I finish with one, they can burn the bone, and stuff like we can burn the bone or do something with the bone. Or put it on display like, hey, this was once from a cow.
Yeah.
We'll put it up at the end of the bar, and it shows like this is the shank of a cow, and this is where you get from the sell your beef bites. That's crazy, dude. But it works, I mean, if you're that far into the future and you got nothing else,
I can see that because we're already kind of like I see the science going that way. I've seen some of that science where they're duplicating the meat and growing like meat and stuff from like it's not on a cow. It's just in a lab. It's in a laboratory.
You growing meat,
Yeah.
bro? You growing meat?
Mundo
meat?
is.
Yeah, Kev, I was just telling Anthony that like somewhere I have a stock of beef shanks, and I pull out some bone marrow to replicate like steaks and stuff like that.
What?
And yeah, and we'll call the steaks or the sandwich or whatever like sell your beef bites.
That's
Can't even hear you now.
You say
talking about
something?
the book. You're talking about the book.
No, I'm
Albatross.
talking about beef.
You talking about in real life or in your fucking? In the book?
No, in the book, dude.
Oh, all right. I thought you were doing some crazy shit in real life. I was like, what? Yeah. All right. Yo, my connection is better now, right?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Better.
Because I had to connect. If I'm going over the Bluetooth, it fucks me up.
Yeah, you would think after 86 shows you would know that by now.
Yeah, man. You know what happened? I swear to God, I must get up in the middle of the night and throw my own shit out because I swear I leave it all set up and then it just disappears. It happens with everything. It happens with hats. It happens with shirts. It happens with fucking wires. It's. That's for another show, though, man. That's for another show. My shit gets thrown out. Mundo, did your shit get thrown out like random times? In your house, did your shit just go missing?
Yep. All the time.
You can't even complain about it, bro.
Nope. Nope.
Oh man. So then I look like an asshole when I ain't ready.
My dad's saying back when I was a kid, he would say, "Don't touch my stuff."
No, yo.
I guess because he got his stuff
I
touched a
tell
lot.
my kids. I tell my kids
you
that.
can't beat it. You can't
Yeah,
fight.
I guess we still always touched
war.
his stuff,
And
That's
your
why,
mom
he
threw
always
his
had to
shit out
say it.
And your mother threw his shit out for no reason, just because it was on the table. She was like, had a bad phone call or some shit. Like, yo, because there's no reason that wire was here for months and now it's just gone.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a cool desk to have one of those old style, like 1920 style desks that like the cover rolls down and has a little lock on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need that shit.
And that way you can have like a laptop in there and you just lock it and stuff.
I need the surface of my desk to be like just a giant glue trap, just fucking sticky. Everything just sticks to it.
Sticky, icky.
Sticky, icky.
Sticky,
Sticky, icky. Crazy, man. It's insane.
Insane.
Insanity.
Kev, if you could work on one cartoon, like bring it back to life, like let's say they gave you the rights, you could have the rights to a show, like a cartoon, for instance, G.I. Joe, and you were in charge of bringing it back. What's the cartoon? Astro
Boy.
What's that? I don't think I know this one.
Astro
My
Boy,
boy
really?
Toby is the man.
Wow.
Astro Boy is my shit, man. I love that.
I don't know that one.
Hands down, Transformers, bro.
Nah, they fucked it up. Too much Transformers shit going on.
Yeah.
And plus, I
No,
just
the
saw
old
G3
school shit,
cartoon.
not the new shit, not the new shit.
Yeah, but I
The
saw
old
the
school.
G3 the G3 cartoon, and it was like what took place after the movie that I never seen and I never knew it existed until like last year. They played at 6 in the morning over here,
What?
and I was like, yo, this is amazing. They had Galvatron in it, you know, all
Yeah.
that shit. It took place like after the movie. It was crazy.
Oh damn, Cam! If I'd known you had never seen it, man, I'd have sent it to you.
G3? Yeah, I never seen G3, man.
No, the movie. The movie.
Oh no, wait. I seen that movie in the theater, and I've been watching it ever since.
Which one?
I just showed it to my kids. You know, the Transformers.
Yeah,
1986.
Yeah, I just showed it to my kids.
Yeah.
86. That came out in 86.
Yeah.
something like that. I loved how they passed the torch on, but I think they could have done just a tad bit better than that, though.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Wait. Whoa.
Wait,
Whoa.
Come on.
Whoa.
You gotta follow
What
Rodimus
needs a
Prime.
fix?
Because you know we all know that Rodimus became Prime, right? However,
Hot Rod. Yeah, hell yes, my guy.
Hot Rod, he became Prime, but the way it came about when Optimus was trying to pass the torch on, he passed it to
Omega Supreme.
yeah. But the thing is that dude just he didn't want it, and he knew he didn't want it.
No, that wasn't
was a
Omega
sucker.
Supreme. That was Rada. No,
What
shit.
was his name?
he was the
what's his
Unsolved
name?
Mysteries guy. The Unsolved Mysteries guy.
Yeah. Robert
Not
Stack.
Omega Supreme
Robert
is
Stack is-
Ultra Magnus.
Ultra Magnus.
There
Yes.
Ultra Magnus didn't want it, and
White
that's the
and blue.
reason why he was trying to give it to him. But as soon as
It fell.
when
Ultra
it
Magnus.
fell,
Yeah, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
he didn't even want to grab it. He didn't even want to.
No, like I
grab
think
it.
he was like kind of more of like a commander and not like a leader. Like Ultra Magnus was not like the destined like leader.
he
That's
was
why
a
it didn't
soldier.
really work for him. Like he couldn't really open it, and like he wasn't really made for it. Like he was like his
Yeah.
body was like
Light our darkest hour.
like he thought that was the darkest hour. That was not.
Well, that's why I'm saying how
The Matrix
Optimus
is like,
before
hell
he
no.
was dying, he didn't. I mean, I know he trusted him, but shoot, it was like, come on, Optimus, you could have made a better choice than that.
Well, that dude hadn't come into his own yet. Hot Rod had not like displayed his prowess yet.
Well, no, because it took him half that show to actually grow
You
up.
just called it a show. That was a movie. That was a film.
Okay, a movie. I stand corrected, man. Damn.
It was a triumph in American cinematography, bro.
Oh, now we're getting
now
we're getting technical. Now we're getting technical. A piece of Americana.
That movie was amazing. It ruined
It
me.
was.
It ruined my life a little
It
bit.
was good. It was good. It was good. I wouldn't be watching it now and then if I didn't like it. So.
Movie was the shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's my like anime gospel.
Nah, it's for real. But yo, Astro Boy's and shit too. That was ahead of his time.
I don't know that. What is that about?
You know Astro. I wear the hat sometimes, a little kid with the boosters on his boot.
And the blaster for him.
Yeah.
All right, it's starting to sound
Well,
familiar.
actually, he can transform it into a blaster. I mean, he still has
Yeah,
both hands.
pretty sick.
But
And this
he
is from
just-
like the 50s or the 60s, maybe even earlier.
yeah.
It's on Amazon. I watch it with my kids. And the movie that they came out, I think in like 2013 or something like that. Maybe after that. I don't know, but it's fire. It's fire. Might have came out 2016 actually. Fire.
I just realized what I have to do too is like as soon as the show is done, I have to like post up for the next one so that we have that awareness, like that link too, because that way you could actually get the link to where the show will actually be as well, and maybe like post it up somewhere. I think that was my mistake this time. I only put it a half hour before. That's like a no-no.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's too quick.
Not saying, son. Not saying, son. Yo, hey, you helped your boy move today, right?
Yeah.
Nah,
I didn't really do that much. I didn't really do that much. He had some movers, and he said we were just there for like kind of like moral support, like opening up some boxes or arranging some stuff once it got there. But I didn't really have to do any like the heavy lifting. We were kind of making fun of him a little bit because he had like the moving company he had was called College Hunks. So they were supposed to be these like college hunks, and then someone kind of made fun of him about it, one of his neighbors, and he said, yeah, well, if I could have had the college chicks one, I would have chose that.
That's funny.
My connection is fucked, man.
No,
That
your
works.
connection's fine.
If you're talking about your connection to Mother Earth, like it is fucked. You better fucking repent.
I already
It's
have.
fucked.
Repent.
Mother Earth is about to shake you off of her back. No longer will you be able to use her as your donkey.
Uh-oh. You're doing something we don't know about, Kev. Oh my goodness.
Huh.
Don't blaspheme, Ant. No blasphemy.
Blasphemy. Blasphemy.
Whoa.
Yo, how's Harris doing?
He was in like a lot better spirits today because the his son liked the place that he got and was pretty happy about it and stuff like that. So that made Harris happy. He's like, okay, like my kid's happy about it, and then he could deal with it. His kid was happy with the room he had and like all the stuff that they were doing over there. So
Nice.
he was gonna stay there like the first night with Harris. So that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
That's cool. A lot of praying for Harris there, man.
Thank you. Yeah, he's an awesome dude. Hopefully he'll come out of this better than before.
Yeah, he's cool, man.
Yo, what part of PA were you in?
Well, Kev, it's only 55 minutes away, but I drove for 2 hours to get there because you know how bad I am. So I have the original address up on my GPS. So I'm going to his original house. It's like an hour away in Philadelphia. So I go there, and in the midst of driving there, he texts me. He's like, listen, I was running late. So he's like, don't come to the old house. We've already put everything in the car. We're going to head over to the new place now. And then we just have to unload it. So he sends me the address, but I'm driving like 80 miles an hour down the highway. So I click the button and it goes, is this where you want to go? So I say, yeah, bitch, like, let's do it. So I was supposed to go to some place in like I forget, is it like Bethlehem, PA or something like that, right? But I end up in Langorn at the same address, but a half hour away. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
So it's like whatever his lane was, it was like whatever lane. When I clicked that button and then the Apple or the whatever Google thing was like, is this where you want to go? And I'm just driving fast. I hit, yeah, of course. Like, I copied the address over, or I clicked on the address, whatever I did. And it ended up just taking me to whatever, like his place was like whatever lane to whatever that was road. Same address, but road in a different town. And then once I found that out, like I'm supposed to be going to an apartment, but yet I was parked in front of like single family homes. So I was like, this doesn't look right. And and it's definitely no sign of Harris. So I checked the address, and I realized I'm just in a totally different town in a different place. So it took me 2 hours to get there. So
wow.
When you realized you fucked up, did you say motherfucker?
No, because I kind of expected it, because I always had trouble with the GPSs. And this particular time, it was so smooth. I was like, this is too good to be true. And it was totally too good to be true. I had to completely
funny.
turn around and everything.
That is hilarious.
That's fucked up.
But I'm just kind of like that with those GPSs. They always kind of screw with me. And then also, I haven't driven anywhere in like a month. So just being out there in the car, I was worse driving. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like worse at it because like I just haven't done it.
GPS
I
says,
hear you.
oh shit, Anthony's driving. Let's fuck with him. Let's fuck with him.
Yeah, no, but seriously, sometimes I feel like I'm out of practice, man. Like I'll just change lanes now. I'm like, sometimes I'm driving, I'm like, oh, and I'll just change lanes, and I'm like, oh shit. Then I look behind me, like, what a dickhead.
Well, my car beeps if you try to do that, but the bad part about the beeping is like if it senses somebody in that lane, it'll beep. But the bad thing is like even if I go past that car, it's still beeping. Like I'm totally in the clear, but like it doesn't think so. It's like, no, it's not safe enough yet. I'm like, come on, you know what I mean? Like it's just not beeping. I'm like 3 car lengths ahead of this person. No one's in a danger. But what actually really helps me with the car is like it also beeps when it's a stop short situation, and that's happened and helped. That happened just the other day. It was like a stop short thing, it goes it's like beep 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 beep, like someone stopping short, and that helps.
I'm out of practice, man. It's crazy.
This is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to play the Albatross trailer and then bring in the person who made the trailer. So let's hit this up.
The sun is gone. A voyage to a faraway world ends in tragedy. One last chance for survival is found on an unlikely planet genetic material brought back could change the future of our world. Albatross Junction.
Not only did Matthew create that trailer, he animated it, and he voiced it as well. Welcome, Matthew.
Hey, Matthew, what's up, buddy?
How you guys doing? You guys can hear me?
What's the word?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're a little low.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, no, it's
amazing
okay.
work.
Well, you guys did all the artwork, so that's the artwork was all yours. That was the thing. Those are the big components to it that make the difference, you know.
Cheers, Matthew.
Very happy with that. With that
Good
trailer.
word, man.
I was actually just telling Matthew on the phone. I don't know if you know this, Kev, but it's not big numbers by any stretch of any imagination. But that trailer is actually our most viewed video on Comic Book Creation Live.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Well, I mean, you have to share it with as many groups and people, and just sort of. I mean, I went into as many groups as I could, at least that I'm a member of or whatever. And probably what I would need to do too is be like, oh, look, comic book groups, people or artists groups and stuff, share it there, you know. But I shared it in fantasy and sci-fi groups. You know what I mean?
It's actually a really good idea. I should get into some comic book groups, which I'm a part of none of them right now. Or I'm a part of no comic book forums either. That would probably be something.
It would be very helpful in the sense that, there's so many things you can do out there, but those would be at least one. And it's one thing when someone says, hey, why didn't you guys do that? You guys need 25,000 people and blah, blah. And you're like, well, that would cost a lot of money. But it's free to try to advertise on Facebook to some extent or whatever, get it out there. And I guess people use Instagram. I'm not a big fan of Instagram. I don't use it. I don't know how to do it because I think you can only do it from phone. Is that right?
I think so. Can you do it from tablets? I don't know. I think it might just be phone, but
I have an Instagram and I use it just a little bit here and there. It's just
can you use it on the computer?
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as Facebook. It's a little more I guess detail oriented a little bit.
Well, because what I found is you can't post certain lengths of things, whereas at least with Facebook you could be like, here's a video that's 40 minutes long, 20 minutes long, 2 minutes long. Whereas on Instagram, they're like, sorry, if it's longer than,
1 minute.
30. Yeah, is it in 1 minute? Because I was like, 30 seconds or something. And I was like, I just don't know if I can be limited to that because I'm like, I don't know how long it's going to take when I make a video. I have no idea. The video is the length that it is. What? Who cares? What does it matter?
Well, the way they do it now is
like hard drive space or something.
Well, they'll transfer you to what's called Instagram TV now. If you have a longer video than that. So I guess, but it's it would people have to click on it. So
I can't get involved in that. It even said you're not allowed to be part of that. And I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, again, someone might say, well, why is that? I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea. It's just you can't do that. Sorry. Bye.
Here's the thing. I know you can link the both of them, Facebook and Instagram together. So when you post on one, the other one will jump in with it.
I have that set up. But the point is, if your video is longer than a certain thing, it won't do it.
I don't know because I made a couple of live videos already on Instagram, and I guess maybe they were too short, to realize what.
Well, were they longer than a minute?
I'd have to look back, and I think I don't know. Maybe they're about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe. I don't know.
So they're not. Okay, well that's.
I also know another way around it too. Like let's say your video is 3 minutes long, you could partition it to 3 parts, and then people kind of swipe right to see more.
Mm-hmm.
See another clip kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a couple.
I just need a. That's the thing. I would just need a social media manager because it's I
think Instagram is trash though. Instagram is total trash. I think with all their ads, they just send me so many ads. I did make the mistake of buying something one day, but these These
Right.
gloves look so cool. You're supposed to be able to punch through cement. I was like, I have to have those. They're only $20.
Right, and you're like, of course. Then you're like, later, what
And
am
now
I
I
gonna
get
do with
60
these?
million ads.
I know, I do too, man. It's crazy. I hate it, especially like from Wish. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And like, I just think the component, like whatever algorithm, whatever like computer they're using to like let's say spread your posts around using your hashtags that you included or whatever, is like far less. It's like happening a lot less now when they have these advertisers to push. So like when like normally they might push like Kevin's artwork to me because I might like it. Now they'll just push a bunch of other garbage, and like Kevin's artwork is like really at the way back end of the situation now. It's like they don't care about it as much.
Which is messed up because Kevin's super talented. I mean, we all know that, and that's
and the whole Instagram thing is like your photo album. It's like I want to see other people's photo albums, not your stupid ads, because that has nothing to do with like this whole thing is supposed to be like a photo album that people are sharing with me. Like that's what it's.
That's how it always goes, man. Things come out, they start off as a good idea, and actually, I used to talk about this with the guy in Tricking, where it's like a community gets started, and then everybody's like, "Well, yeah, the community, this is dope, dude. Like we're all like heart and soul," and and then eventually gets too big, and then it starts getting commercialized. Then it starts to be about how cheap can we do it. And we got to do this, and we got to cater to that, and we got to do this thing. So it gets completely away from what it originated as, and it starts to become a marketing tool, which he was absolutely right about it too, because it's kind of like when he's like, dude, you remember when like cell phones were like a novelty, and the point was, whoa, look at this device, and it can achieve all these things. And now it's just like, it's almost like a joke where, you know, they're like, oh, the new iPhone 93. And you're like, so what's the difference between this one and the last one? And they're like, nothing really.
Slightly better camera.
It's
and like, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. It's not like, okay, this is a true innovation. And you and I talked about that with like the Saber community. It's, you know, no offense to certain things. I'm sure there's more innovations now, which is good. But I remember a good stretch of time where I'm like, there's no innovation going on. It's just like, oh, look, now before we had 3 things of this and now we have 4. And you're like, okay, like, does that matter? Like, it doesn't even matter. No. So anyways, it's sad, but it's true. Like, if you want to get Albatross Junction out, if I want to get Diamond Dragons out, we need to market, and there needs to be like, you know, real audience members and people who they'll really commit and really see the value in it. But it's hard to do that. It's hard to do that when you can only proselyte to a certain amount of people. And again, you can only engage their interest so far. They might just say, well, I watched 5 seconds and I don't like this. And I don't know. I'm not even sure how, I don't know how it goes out there. You know,
Speak for yourself. I can prostitute myself out to a lot of people.
All right. Well, cool. Then I can learn, right?
Ant's good at doing that. He likes being on He likes being on corners.
Oh, dropping some knowledge there, Mundo.
Hey, he said it himself, man.
Mundo's my John.
No.
Oh man, I stepped into that one, but shit,
Yeah.
damn, I set myself up for that crap.
Oh my god. I feel I must change the subject. That will probably help the feed, but I was going to say, I was joking with Mundo. I was like, you guys need to have a character in Albatross Junction named Ocho Loco.
Maybe that's Mundo's bar back.
Right? There you go.
It could be Ocho Loco.
Crazy 8.
We'll cave it away. And then maybe somewhere near the very end, it gets explained why is this character's name Ocho Loco? It could be a female, it could be a male. It doesn't. Who knows? It could be an alien. I don't know.
Maybe they killed 8 people.
And the plot.
Maybe it's just the name of a drink at Mundo's bar for a while, and then you finally meet it. He's like, Ocho Loco was a friend of mine, man. He was a
vato. That could be the last.
He was a vato. He was a cabron. He was an old cabron. And then they're like, what? I don't believe you. For like the longest time, you're like, no, he's real.
El
He's real,
cabrón de
son.
viejo. El cabrón
Yeah.
de viejo.
And they all look at you and they're like, whatever. You're just so full of it. Like you and your stupid stories about Ocho Loco. And you're like, whatever. One day you're gonna meet him.
Oh, thank
And
you
then-
guys for making that
20 years
Spanish dialogue for the trailer. I wanted
that
to
was
talk about
good.
that for a minute. I wanted to hear what Kevin thought about that. I don't know if Kevin
That was all Mundo.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
No, but you disseminated it and kind of edited it down, didn't you? And made it.
I
made
did
it sound
that.
a
I
little
did.
better?
He did. He
I
just
take no
lowered-
credit. No.
He
I
lowered
take
it
no credit.
down. He cleaned it up a little bit.
All I did is remove white noise, and then there were a few pops and clicks that I could try to get at. There's other things I can't fix because reasons.
I just thought that was so interesting, like the possibility of doing like Spanish speaking. Like, I wonder why not. Like, I wonder why not. I just don't know what to like think.
I tell you what though, like as soon as when I was even thinking about doing Diamond Dragons, I was always like, the nice thing about doing VO work when it's not live acting is I'm like, you can always have other languages and stuff. So I always had that thought process that you're like, if you want this to go out to other different countries and places where English is not the main language, which is a lot, let's be honest. Like it's so easy for United States to be like, we're the best, we're so awesome. And you're like, shut up, you're so stupid. Like the real world is a lot bigger than you, son. But yeah, like having it in French, Japanese, Chinese, or Mandarin, or whatever, if you want to make it more universal. I can't think of all the other ones. Well, Spanish. What would be some other ones?
Portuguese.
Well, I think Spanish is like one of the most important. I mean, Portuguese sounds really important too. I just think Spanish is super important because I just feel like,
well, they all are, right?
I mean, like America is like not just United States, right?
Well, it's a
like
melting pot. It's a
South
melting
America, and a huge part of that Spanish speaking.
I mean, the things that most people don't even realize, and I mean, I'm not trying to keep dropping more knowledge about film stuff or whatever, but it's like when movies get distributed, most people don't realize that a lot of times the United States is not what makes a lot of money for that movie. It ends up being other cultures or other countries or whatever else. Like even Pulp Fiction, it's like once that was out, then they subtitle it, and then it goes over here and here and here, and suddenly it's like, oh wow, look at all this craziness going on. And it's like if someone added up the numbers, they might be like, look, and they're like, what's that? They're like, the United States only made like 5% of the money, and they're like, where's the big money coming for this? And you're like, I don't know why, but Japan likes Pulp Fiction. And I mean, I'm just making it up, but it's like, right, those things happen where you're like, I have no idea. Like, did you guys hear about that back in the day with David Hasselhoff, that he was a singer?
And like in Japan, he was a huge star, right?
And Germany,
other parts of the world. Yeah.
I have no idea why. I mean, Germany and Japan were like, David Hasselhoff's the best singer ever. Like, he's a bro, dude. And oh, here we are in the United States going, huh.
Actually, me and Kevin love one of his songs, don't we, Kev?
Well, it's probably good, but you know, it's sort of like, what? You know, Jackie Chan is a good singer. Apparently, he's pretty popular in China for his singing. We don't really know about his singing, though. Do y'all? Did y'all know that Jackie Chan sings? He's a good singer. He's a good singer.
Yeah, he actually is. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know if we would sit here and consider it like, oh, I'm going to listen to Jackie Chan's music all the time, but it's like somewhere people do.
Well, even Steven Seagal came out with a record.
Really? Did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's called Crystal Cave or something like that.
Crystal
he's not a bad singer. He's not a bad singer, but
Sometimes they're not. Like Ronnie Cox did the same thing. I think he did a children's album. You remember Ronnie Cox was Cohagen? Come on, Cohagen, give these people air.
I'm working on the saber a little bit here. I'm working on my final
Saber.
My button deal.
Saber the moment.
Is that your soldering
I
iron?
am going to saber. Yeah, I've got a Ryobi soldering iron.
What happens when you push that through in your ear?
What?
Oh, my brain turns to mush. And I go, Loco Ocho! Yeah!
Wait, Will it be Ocho Loco or Loco Ocho?
That remains to be seen. Hey, that could be my alter ego.
Yeah, like when
Oh,
you
that's
actually
cool.
go out for battle. Like, because everyone's got to fight in Pike Berg, I would think.
So Mundo's like secretly Batman and stuff, but he's
'cause you know what, it's
Ocho
like-
Loco.
Like,
I love that. That's pretty funny.
No.
School-
The drink gun that I have will serve as like an acid.
a
like-
flamethrower.
Well, yeah, there you go. Flamethrower and acid spitter.
Yeah, maybe you got like a backpack and it holds all the fuel.
Oh,
And on the battlefield, he can push like you know how those bar guns have different buttons on them, like one's seltzer, one's Diet Coke, one's Coke. Like he has one that is actually drinks. So like on the battlefield, he could serve you drinks, or he could have like it be a flamethrower with the fuel.
there you go.
And his secret is that it's one in the same tank.
Huh. Secret service tank, right? That's cool.
People are
I was
drinking
I was
And I
just
got-
working with my.
And the twins can back me up. Nikita, Nikita. They'll
Oh.
back me up. They'll back me up.
I was working with one of my artists to continue designing. I have this dragon bard. You know, he's basically a minstrel, but his name is Bardish, which is a medieval weapon. So his musical instrument is going to represent sort of like a bardish. Because when it's time for him to fight, you know, he presses like a button. It's like shing, out comes the weapon. And he's like, ah,
That's cool.
ah, ah. So we were designing that, and it's kind of cool because it's sort of like a secret, you know, thing where you got this musical instrument. You think it's all like normal, and then someone messes with him, and he's like, "You done up," you know, and click, boom, whack. So cool stuff. Having little secret things. You got to have a lot of secret stuff in the bar, right, Mundo?
Oh yeah, got to.
You remember
Secret
the thing in like
passion.
the Masters
Well,
of the
here's-
Universe movie looked kind of like an instrument, and didn't it play a tune, but it was really a weapon or something like that? Remember that
No,
Masters of the Universe movie?
Well, I
yeah.
don't remember it that specifically, but I remember that Dolph Lundgren was in it, and so was Frank Langella actually as
Yeah.
Skeletor.
As Skeletor. Well, now they're saying that Dolph Lundgren wanted to come back as Skeletor in their new remake.
Oh, I didn't know there was going to be a remake.
Well, they were attempting to make one.
Yeah, that was like a missed opportunity too. Like that movie could have been really awesome.
Oh yeah, a hell of a lot better, but the powers to be.
Yep,
screwed
they just
in.
had to go and Hollywood it up instead of like just be like, dude, just follow the cartoon to some extent, extrapolate on the stories, make it happen.
A little short, but it's a perfect pressure fit.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Kevin,
Good job.
did your internet go out?
What do you think, Space?
I don't know if Kevin can
Hey,
hear
it's
me.
looking good, Muno.
Yep. Perfect pressure fit. Like I said, it's a little short, but not bad.
That's the way it goes sometimes.
Here's Space. Pick it up.
Nice.
I like the way those buttons came out. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a pretty good job on the buttons, man. My Dremel did a little nice job and took a little sanding here and there, and came out really nice. I'm proud. I'm super proud of myself. But of course, with your help too, you know.
Oh, I didn't do nothing.
Uh,
I did zero.
guidance, my friend.
Primal Gamer is here. Hello there. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, Primal.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey.
Welcome, buddy.
Kev, do you have audio? I don't know if Kevin's hearing us.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I-
we can hear you.
Yeah, we
I
can
mentioned you a couple times. I didn't know
Yo.
if you were hearing. If you were hearing us.
Yeah, I'm lagging.
I see.
Yeah,
I
I'm
see a
lagging
little
so
bit.
bad. All I hear is like robot noise.
Oh no!
I have no idea what the fuck you're saying.
Oh no!
All I hear is it's
Oh, that
so slow
sucks.
on my end. So I'm just like, let me just keep my head down and draw.
Okay.
Kevin, you're always the man. I love it. He's always hard
Sometimes
at
he's
work.
got good internet,
Fucked
but
up,
on
man.
Wednesdays,
Fucked
for some reason, it's not that great.
Oh, hey,
Wednesdays
before I forget, Before I forget, man, Val Dark too, my buddy Mike Goins, man, said to tell you guys.
Is he coming in?
Not sure yet. He's he's got some things to do right now, but if he can make it, he'll make it.
I think I remember that name. Wasn't he on some of these before, Mundo? Right?
I think he was.
He texted in a couple of times.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, not everybody's obviously on video, but I remember that name.
Yeah. He's a real good buddy of mine. He's doing his own comic too. Really, he's a really talented person, man. And,
Sweet.
Down to earth guy.
Well, it seems like we have a lot of that in this podcast, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Except for me, which is fine. It can be a good exception.
Oh, come on now. No negativity.
It's not being negative. It's just having fun with it.
Oh, having fun with it. Okay.
Yeah. It's nice sometimes to be the talentless janky hack. You'd be like, "Oi, janky hack, mate."
Talentless. Come on now.
Oh, I'm just mostly teasing.
And that's drawing's coming along pretty good, man.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I remember this one because he was sharing it last time that, these poor space marines are out there trying to do something, and then a few of them get janked by some meteorite particles, and those things are, they're coming in fast. So
yeah,
you're probably not going to do so well if one of them hits you. You're probably going to take an enormous amount of momentum in a direction that you probably don't want to go.
Yeah. Well, like that one that's being hit right there, you see him like flying.
Yeah, he looks like he has set a course for Alderaan.
Yeah. Like, I kind of think he got hit with something really big and it pushed his body out. Where like these people, if they get hit with more like bullets right here, and it's going through them like really fast, or maybe it's the speed of the item that's going.
You guys ever seen Mission to Mars?
Yeah.
Which there was a bunch of Mars movies that came out in the same year, and I think I saw them all, but it's kind of hard to remember.
Cool,
well, Mission to Mars was Gary Sinise, Connie Nielsen, super talented. Now I can't remember him. He was in Jerry Maguire. It was
like Cuba Gooding Jr.
No,
is that the one where the face opens up? They go to the face.
Yeah, something like that. Don Cheadle was in it. It was really wonderful. It was essentially where they're like, Disney funded it because they're like, we have this Mission to Mars ride. And of course, the movie had nothing to do with any of that, but I thought it was a very good film. Strangely, it got panned. It was a Brian De Palma film, and the music was by, and we just lost the man. R.I.P. Ennio Morricone. So we just lost that guy. He just died like a few days ago. But yeah, the music was fantastic. Ennio's music is great. We all know that. Most people know his music from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good film, I thought, and it had some of the most harrowing scenes in there where you're like, holy cats, like, and they had that kind of things where like space debris screwing up your mask or whatever. I know they did a lot of that in Deep Impact with Delroy Lindo and oh my God, I forget some of the other actors who were in there. It was Hilary Swank was in it, but yeah, like, right. It's always that harrowing idea to think about being in a spacesuit and you get hit by a rock, and you're like, what do you do? It would be like a bullet, right? Those things are careening around space really fast. If you're not going at the same rate of speed, well, and the irony is if you were going about the same rate of speed, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like if you're going in a car at 100 miles an hour and there's one next to you, you can easily come up alongside it and hop from one car to another. It's not going to be a lot of damage. But if you're at 0 miles an hour or 10 and they're coming at 25,000,
it just goes directly through you.
Yeah, it's like a bullet. Yeah. So it's like, wow. Relativity is always interesting, And
like in the airspace above Earth at the time of this story, there was a lot of this debris because all these like solar satellites they used to have kind of working really well. Like they all broke down and smashed into each other over time, over the years.
Right.
went off course and all that. So there's hardly any working ones left. And so when they go up there to try to like fix one, they have to deal with all this stuff floating around. It's like an impossible task.
Yeah, I know they dealt with a lot of that in I don't remember the George Clooney and
Gravity. That was a great one to depict
but
that.
I was like, Sandra Bullock. I had to try to call up the memory banks with all my names after a while.
I like the Space Cowboys one.
Oh, the Space Cowboys was really touching. Yeah, it was.
Clint Eastwood and
Tommy Lee Jones, and I forgot who else they had in that stuff, but it was good. That was good stuff. Wasn't Kurt Russell in that too?
Yeah.
I think? Yeah, Space Cowboy. I mean, of course, right? It's ridiculous, but right. And then, of course, you have Clint Eastwood in it, of course. He's always just going to be grumbling around a line, just kind of like Harrison Ford does.
I actually like that Harrison Ford one where it was called, what was it called? The Aliens and Cowboys, or Cowboys and Aliens?
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't see it. I wish
fun.
I did. But that's right. It was with the newer 007, which was
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Thank you. See, I couldn't do the math in my head, but I could, see the face and stuff.
Daniel Craig does not play a bad 007.
Oh no, he's a very good actor. Like, make no mistake, he's a good actor.
But nobody's gonna beat Sean Connery.
Zen Doodle's art. Kev, do you know Zen Doodle's art? Primal Gamer's asking. I don't think I know that.
Shout out to Primal Gamer. What's up? What's up?
Zen Doodle's art. I don't think I know that. Is that something we should look up on Instagram or something?
I could look it up if you want.
Yeah, look it up. See if it's on like YouTube or Instagram.
Copy that.
It sounds somehow familiar to me, but
Zen Doodle's art. Let's see what happens. Images for Zen Doodle's art. More images. 14,600 in best Zen. Zen Doodle pin interest. Zen Doodle art. YouTube. I'm not really sure what this means. I'm going to click on it.
He sounded like one of the people Kevin told me to follow at some point.
I am not 100% sure what I'm looking at.
No, I just got a book from 10 Environments, but no.
It's if I had to guess to try to explain it to
my
you.
connection sucks, man. I can't even hear.
Matthew, there also might be a way if there's an image you want to share, there might be a button on the bottom of your screen there to be like share screen, and then I can hit that button if you find something.
I just shared something in private chat. It's going to look like a janky mess, but okay. If I had to explain this though, whether or not you can share it, I would say it's essentially fractal style art mixed with flowers and
okay, to me it looks like Mindscape. Like this is what my art teacher would call Mindscape. I'll see if I can put it up on the screen. Where it's like you wouldn't lift your pen up, and you would just you're supposed to do whatever came to your mind. You're supposed to do like just whatever first thought type of thing. So if you thought of a flower, draw it.
Yeah, most of this looks like fractals meets flowers meets shapes. And then I do see some other stuff like bunnies and squirrels and cats and whatever. But yeah, it looks like mostly fractal art, which is pretty cool. I still remember when I first heard of fractals way back in college. I'm definitely dating myself by there, but that was like a new thing. I remember like when they started making that kind of stereograms. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny how like I remember when that stuff was invented and now everybody's like, whatever, Primal Gamer says, it's when you do animals or something made of symbols. Oh, I have a coloring book and I've been coloring this husky and it's mixed with blues, purples, and pinks, kind of like I looked like I was on drugs.
I like being on drugs.
Who said that? I didn't. Who? What? This chat is rated PG-13. And kids out there, don't do drugs.
Yeah,
unless they're prescribed, in which case you should still question it. Actually,
this is my prescription right here.
An oversized can of beer.
Yeah.
Hashtag apple juice. Apple juice.
Whiskey plus apple juice. 5% apple juice.
No, to be honest, it's not whiskey. It might be later. It could be.
Could be.
Probably would be. God, I look old. Damn.
I would love to be able to
so
get a
you would-
Long Island iced tea from home. That would be
Oh,
nice.
that sounds good right now.
You can mix it. It's not that hard of ingredients, son.
I heard some friends telling me that they mixed. Who was telling me this? That they mixed the Long Island iced tea, but it didn't come out right. No, but isn't there like a mix that you could get that would just do it for you, right? And then you would just
Well,
kinda,
yeah. I mean, for example, to make a mule. You ever heard of a mule?
yeah.
Yeah, like that. You know, it's just vodka. That's why I love a ginger beer. That's something I might mix later on or whatever. I love ginger beer and like you can mix vodka or whiskey. But anyway, the point is like, yeah, you just go online. You know, it's funny. This is dating myself too, but I remember as a kid, and I didn't even know what I was looking at. As a kid, when I had this Apple IIe, that's how
I had that
old-
too.
Oh God, we're both old. But anyway, there was a program, and I didn't know what it was. I mean, it was probably called Bartender or just Drinks or Drinks.exe. Or I don't know. No, and I ran it, and it's funny as a kid, and this sounds so stupid because you're just so bored and you're running all your programs. I actually knew how to bartend a whole slew of drinks because of that program. It would even let you say how many do you want to make, and then it would tell you how many lemons and how many that you need to cut. It was so crazy. And then the irony is, of course, as I got older, you know, I didn't do any of that stuff anymore, so I forgot all of it. But it's funny to think that at 12 years old, I knew how to mix a whole bunch of drinks, and I had no idea what it was.
Watched that because I should have learned that because back when I was in high school, my friend, like my best friend, was like the bartender at this beach club. And whenever they had a party, which was like 3 or 4 times every summer, he had to get his friends in to help serve the drinks. And at these cocktail parties, I don't know how it was allowed, but I didn't know a single drink. I didn't know anything. And I was serving these rich people their drinks. I don't know what I was giving them.
Right, like I don't remember any of that.
Hey, all that mattered is you fucked them up.
Like we got a little crash course in the beginning. He's like, listen, most people are going to ask for this. He's like, some of the ladies are going to ask for this, and this is how you do it. I'm like, okay, you know, I'll try to remember that. But it's like, and then people are just asking for whatever the hell they're asking for, and I don't know what they were getting.
I'll tell you guys a story really quick. It was funny. One of my first jobs that I ever had, and I did this on purpose. I selected it. You know, I was like, I want to try to get a job where you get tips. You know what I mean? But I don't want it to be like a waiter job because it's too much work. Like I can do this smarter. So I was like, yo, there's this yogurt shop really close to where I live. And they had a tip jar and everything. I'm like, dude, it's clean in there, right? It's not like super crazy, you know. But in the mornings, they'd come in and we served coffee. And when I was that young, I knew absolutely nothing about coffee. And, you know, some people would be like, come on, Matthew, it's not that hard. But for whatever reason, as a kid, I was just like, I have no idea. So almost every time I was working, I was lucky enough that not that many people ordered, but every time they ordered, I'd be like, oh yeah, the coffee machine's broken. And so I'm sure that if my manager had ever heard that at the time, they would have been like, what the fuck? Just learn how to brew the coffee.
You're more like just afraid of it, let alone it wasn't really broken.
Well, it wasn't afraid. I just didn't know. And here it was. Like if I needed to make regular coffee, that's not my point. Like I could do that. But like we had like, okay, you could order a espresso and a mocha and a bullshit and this and that. And it was, I know it sounds strange, but it's in a way we kind of had the options of early Starbucks. Not really, but it's like at this yogurt shop, we serve different versions of coffee. You know, you could do things and do whipped cream and
Primal, that's funny.
I didn't know though. I was like, I don't even know how to do that. So I was just like, oh yeah, we're out of whipped cream. So, it was terrible. You want some yogurt? Sure. That's all I could ever do.
Primal is over here. He's gonna order chocolate milk and grape juice instead of beer.
Oh,
Primal, are you more into like smoking weed or anything like that, or you just don't want to do anything like that? See, because I was like, I would rather smoke weed. I know my friends were drinking, and I was like, well, that's just it seemed a little hardcore with the drinking, I thought, and I was like, the weed seems a little like, you know, I could still remember what I've done and stuff like that, so that's kind of why
you still remember what you've done.
Whereas like my friends would kind of say the next day, like, I don't remember what happened. Do you remember? I'm like, Yeah, I know what happened.
Really? They must have gotten really dranked up, man. Dang.
I had some
I
friends that
blacked
would
out
go to like
I
blackout
have
mode.
blacked out a couple of times.
Oh no. I mean, everybody has. But I'm
I've
just saying,
literally
just
drank
regularly?
myself sober at one time too. It was like, oh my
What?
god.
I had certain friends who, like, when you saw what they were even buying for a night, you're like, how is this person even going to like remain alive? Like, this is terrible.
That was me,
It's like a
man.
32 bottle of like Tanqueray is just gone in an evening.
Oh no. You had some real
I
depressed
probably
friends, man. I resonate now, but I didn't back then. Because I didn't have anything to be depressed about quite that far. Well, actually, I did. What am I talking about? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyways, go on.
I drank so much one night. I was drunk for like 3 days.
Yeah, I feel that.
It was bad. I couldn't even go home. I was so toasted. Oh,
Hey, you're talking to someone who drove for Uber and Lyft for about, what was it, 2 years or something like that? So yeah, I've seen a lot of things.
Mundo, when did you have like your first alcohol? Was it early on or?
I probably was like about 7 or 8. My dad gave me a sip of his beer.
And then you kind of took more sips of beer over time, or you didn't for a while, and then when you were 15, you had more.
Yeah, not till I was about 15, 16. Then I started, partying with some friends and stuff, and stayed. I always stayed the night at my friend's house so that we drank, we wouldn't get in trouble. But of course, we knew what we were doing. we had a couple of people that some law enforcement on our side, and we went to dances. we went to dances. We got some hookups and stuff like that, and hooked them up. Hooked the law enforcement up.
Interesting.
We had a lot of fun, so to speak. We basically had the definition of what is it? What's that singer from the Dukes of Hazzard? The guitarist.
Just a good old boy.
Waylon Jennings.
Never mean no harm.
Yeah, we were the good old boys, all right. Shit.
I don't remember
those were the good old. Those were the good old days.
I don't remember the song, but I remember the show a little bit.
Primal, I think that's the way to be. No
Isn't that funny?
drinking, no drugs, no nothing.
Yeah, isn't that funny now
I'm a
too? The
square.
General
That's all
Lee,
good.
that car now, everybody'd be like #no because it's racist and it's this and it's, and you'd be like, oh God, it was a TV show, man. They had Boss Hogg was the name of his character.
He used to
Boss
eat like a
Hogg.
pile of chicken wings and throw them over his head.
Yeah,
and
you're
that's
like,
healthy.
it's not serious. You're like, dude, it's like taking the movie Liar, Liar when a little boy dreams and wishes that maybe his dad can't tell a lie, and then you take it too seriously. It's like, it's the Dukes of Hazzard. The Dukes of Hazzard. Come on, man. What was it? I'm Roscoe Pico Train, and you're like, oh my God, this character.
It was like even though it was
You know,
live action, it was like a cartoon to my
Yeah.
child mind. Like I didn't see it as live action. I saw it as this cartoon.
That's how I saw it,
Yeah.
because it was.
They were doing
It was
cartoonish stuff like
ridiculous.
jumping over ravines in their car and stuff. I was just like, oh,
Ridiculous.
this is like, they can't die or whatever, I guess. And they got this like chick in these short shorts. I guess this is like a cartoon, I don't know. I didn't know any better.
Daisy. Oh my gosh. I had a
Well,
bunch of Daisy at one
Well, and that's the thing is then, oh gosh, I forget her name right now too. But I mean, Catherine Bach. That's right, Catherine Bach. And like right from then on, everybody referred to those gene types as Daisy Dukes because they decided to go that far and go like, we're gonna make the shortest jean shorts on this girl ever that TV ever saw.
What did you think of like the movie that came out in like 2005 or whatever it was?
I
Like,
didn't
was
like
that
it.
any
I don't think I
good? I
saw
don't
it.
remember.
I didn't like it. I thought
didn't
it was.
see it. I don't know.
Like I bought the DVD Mundo, and I maybe saw it 2 times, but that's not enough for me to remember. Like I don't remember. This is 15
to
years
me,
ago.
I felt like it was Jackass meets Hazard. That's all it was.
Oh, it was the guy from Jackass and the guy from American
Yes.
Pie, right? Okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! So they had what's his face in there then?
And they had
Knoxville. They had Johnny. What is it? Knoxville.
yeah, Johnny Knoxville. And they had
Yeah.
Jessica Simpson as Daisy Dukes.
Jessica Simpson.
It does sound like a really fun
Well, I mean, no
situation,
offense to
though.
Jessica Simpson, but she's not an actress, right?
Mm.
I'm so
At
sorry.
the time,
Jessica.
she had like a
If you're watching, I'm so
popular
sorry.
MTV show, and I guess maybe that
Well, that's
that
the
helped
reason
her
why
get
they
the part.
put her.
Knoxville, though, you don't mess with Knoxville. Like, actually, Johnny Knoxville's really talented. He's
He is.
actually
He
a
is.
talented actor, and that's the thing is
He-
people will study.
He is, and they also had Jess. Uncle Jesse was played by Willie Nelson.
Oh, that's
Oh.
what a good homage. Yeah, that's a good homage. Yeah,
I liked it
Well-
enough to buy the DVD. I just don't totally remember the movie.
yeah.
I see. Here's the thing. I think that Willie Nelson was just a little too skinny for the part of Uncle Jesse.
Probably, but I mean, at the same time, they probably said, "Hey, look, we're not going to ask him, hey, Willie, will you gain 40 pounds for this role?"
Well,
He's
they're
probably
not
like,
going to.
"Yo, I'm a
no,
musician."
But I
so-
think there's some other people that they could have.
Wait, didn't they have like someone as who was Boss
And I
Hogg?
love
Was
Willie
it Burt
Nelson, man.
Reynolds or something?
Willie Nelson's my music guy. Don't get me wrong. I love his music. I think.
I don't think they had the right guy for Boss Hogg.
No,
I
I
remember
don't
who-
think so either.
Who'd they have?
Did they have
His name
Burt
was-
Reynolds or something? I forget who they had.
Burt Reynolds is
I forget who they
boss.
had.
Yeah,
It was
Burt
no
Reynolds.
Boss Hogg. It was like Boss Hogg's supposed to be a flat out like just piece of trash, like not like some handsome
There's an
guy.
actor. There's an actor that I can think of that I would think. I mean, again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. And I know you're talking about, but I kind of know the character. Let me explain this and see if you guys know who he is. Is everybody familiar with Dances with Wolves?
Yeah.
Not too familiar, other than Kevin
Okay.
Costner. I need to
Okay.
rewatch that because you were telling me some interesting stuff the other day about it. I wanna
There's a
watch it.
very good character actor. He was also in Zorro, the one with Antonio Banderas and
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. Thank you. Yeah,
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah.
he's a very good character actor. He's fantastic, but he's also a very large man, and he's very, he's overweight kind of look or whatever. But he would have been fantastic. I don't know his name off the top of my head. I'd have to look him up. But in Dances with Wolves, he plays this general who's lost his mind, and he has just this pivotal role. Like, he's always so good with his performances. They're always character, and they're always like these short performances that are really dense, and like you just rarely see him like in the whole, in a whole film. He usually plays a role so well that it's only a couple minutes. But anyways, in this role in Dances with Wolves, it was so powerful because he plays this general who's like lost his mind completely, and so he does this crazy psychotic stuff and sends John Dunbar, the Dances Wolves character, off on his mission, and then he shoots himself in the head afterwards. It's crazy, but he would have been a great Boss Hogg because of his style, his abilities. He could have done it like, so shout outs to that actor. I wish I knew his name off the top of my head. He would have been a great
Let's see what
Boss
you're working on, Kev.
Hogg. Yeah, please.
Oh, let me pull that up on screen if that.
Oh,
Let's see what Kevin's working on here.
Oh, that's the scene where the Dybbuk attacks people or has
Yeah.
already attacked people.
Yeah, so he's in the detailed part of it.
someone's melted right there. Like, all I see is their arm is left.
That's after the Dybbuk has left, right?
Oh, is this when he's leaping away, Kev?
Yo, can y'all hear me now? It
Like,
sounds
I
kinda
can hear
clear
your
now.
voice
Clear
now.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, you're clearer.
Oh my God.
Nice
Oh.
shirt, by the way.
I don't know. I don't thank you, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I know nothing.
still
I'm telling
can't hear
you.
us.
It's so in and out. Now I hear you.
No.
I hear you fine now. Now I hear you good.
Oh, good.
It's weird. Sucks, man.
Primal
Dancing
Gamer
with Wolves.
Yeah,
says
it's Primal.
Primal Gamer just says Dances with Wolves is the Native American movie, right? And it's like, that is correct. Yeah, it was actually, to me,
Oh,
it's one of the
it's
best
wigging out
films that
again.
was
Wigging
ever
out again.
made.
You're
Oh,
working
no,
out
Kevin,
again?
I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez.
I hate that, huh? There's always some audio problems with the internet.
And you know what's funny is that while I was working in the garage last night, I was listening to some Native American music for relaxation.
Oh, good. Good stuff.
It is. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I liked that movie especially because it bridged the gap between understanding, like, what the frontier days were all about back in the day, and it really was. It was like, yeah, it was conquest and taking over and all that stuff, but it showed two sides of cultures really well, I feel, for a film, because films are meant to be experienced. They don't always paint exact reality. I mean, they definitely had to choose. Even in that movie, they made the Pawnee look like enemies, and they really weren't, everybody's a different culture, but they had to have an enemy, so there you
go.
My favorite movie that I've seen, which is out of Native American movie, like focus movies, probably I've seen like 2 or 3. But I love Last of the Mohicans.
Last of the Mohicans. I knew you'd say that too.
Yeah,
Daniel Day-Lewis, that guy.
Yes.
And talk about music. Oh, the music. I bought that album as soon as I heard the music back in the 90s, and I played it in my car like every day.
Who was the artist that did that one? Was it still John Barry or somebody else?
John Barry.
I could tell you. I'll look in my iTunes.
Yeah, I could probably just look it up too and just be like, Last of the Mohicans, what is it?
Because I think there was 2. There was maybe possibly 2 artists.
It says the soundtrack was Randy Edelman and Trevor Jones.
Yes. And
wow.
Some of the songs are one and some of the songs are the other. And it's like I can remember the tracks too. Like if you got this CD, it's like 2, 4, 6 are just number 6 is to die for. Like number 6 is like,
I bet.
Like if you're about to get into a fight or something, like listen to number 6, like you'll win the fight,
You'll win the fight. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's the thing too. In fact, it's funny when we talk about Dances with Wolves, actually there are some inspirations. I think I even told Anthony about this a little bit. Some inspirations from that film that made it their way really slightly more like homages into Diamond Dragons. In fact, the character that I've been having Anthony read for, although it's just because we're missing an actor for that at all. Anyways, long story, but you know what I mean, Anthony. The rest of the podcast here won't understand, but Mestrius is loosely based on Wind in His Hair from Dances with Wolves. Pretty loosely based, but there's a piece of music that John Barry made that I showed my composer, and I was like, dude, this fits a moment way in the end of Diamond Dragons. And he's like, yeah, I think I know what you're getting at. So like, I do that all the time. I'll pick these pieces of music from films and be like, this encapsulates this moment really well musically, and send them to Eamon and see what he'll do. And Eamon's amazing. He's been on you guys' podcast that one time. He's extremely talented. This kid, he knows like every musical instrument. It's crazy. I don't even know how he knows so damn much. He's pretty young. He's 20s, not like it's not like 40s and stuff like that.
The Jedi are taking over.
What? Excuse me.
The Tigger movie. I felt old last night. This is Primal Gamer. Says I felt old last night. I watched the Tigger movie. One of my favorite movies when I was younger, and I haven't watched since I was 6. Which was 11 years ago, and it came out 20 years ago.
You said Tigger, but he said Tiger, so I didn't get it. But
he kind of corrected afterwards. He says the Tigger movie. Is that Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, Tigger. He's like, what was it? TTFN, ta-ta for now.
How old are you, Primal?
Yeah, a lot of stuff when you watch again that you loved when you were a kid, like seems so different. A lot of it, like it's like excellent and good though if it still holds up. Like if you're still like, oh my god, I still love this, then it was a super excellent production.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned. So Anthony and Kevin, you know how I shared with you that weird, just out of the blue trailer that I'm like, by the way, I redid all the sound and the audio and the voices for this thing, and you guys were like, oh my god, this Star Blazers Yamato thing sounds exactly like Albatross Junction. I'm like, right. That's something from my childhood that I knew would still hold up. Now, granted, some of the graphics and the stuff that I showed in that one is from the newer updated versions, but the story is still the same, is that in the Star Blazers Yamato thing, an unknown threat to Earth is happening, and all the countries have to band together and say, hey, too bad about our differences. What about what's happening out in space? We got to deal.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. It was a powerful thing, even as a kid, to see.
It's kind of like
stuff.
Starfleet from Star Trek too, right? It's like at some point in human history, we have to, or human future, we will have to come together for some kind of extra galactic situation, and then like at least in Star Trek, it's almost like a utopia situation where everyone does get along.
Yeah.
Until they meet up with like Romulans and enemy people out there.
Yeah, and
it's
then
time
it
to
has
give
to be
him a
dealt with.
drink.
Yeah,
It's time
exactly.
to give him a drink.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's kind of the thing that I always found, maybe even as a kid, interesting, is that that's probably why I gravitated and liked Star Trek and Star Wars and other things like that. And even, again, people like Carl Sagan, who's a personal hero of mine, because I look at the Earth and the universe in a different way that I feel like most people do. Who I'm running around talking to most people, and they're worried about the next energy drink they're going to have, or the next movie star, or they want to get this job, and they have all these things. And I'm like, we're on this giant rock hurtling around in a endless, vacuous, blank and black void. And you're worried about all those things. I'm just like, man, it's just a weird place to be here in the universe. That the fact that Earth even exists is extremely strange. It's really random. And it's just it's a factor that we have to think about, I think, as a society, and understand that this is the place that we make our stand as human beings. Even though technology is coming out where, like, Elon Musk is like, hey, we're going to go try to populate Mars or something. It's like, if we screw up Earth too badly, we are done, like super done. You know what I mean? And it's always a strange thing to be thinking about those kinds of aspects when everybody else is worried about, whether they're going to go get a house or not, or the next car they're going to buy, or the next job, or whatever else.
In our story, it's like, people, it's kind of like this, the Star Blazers thing where like Earth is going about their business of doing whatever they do, kind of warring with each other. And then a calamity happens where, people are worried about an asteroid and stuff in real life, but in our story, an asteroid so big that it could obliterate the sun actually strikes the sun.
Clearly.
And that's the beginning of our trailer that you made.
It's gone.
So yeah, they do have to come together in our story and kind of work out what they're going to do next. And it's just such a mess, like, as you can imagine from our like current situation that we're going through, and how it's not really handled properly, or it doesn't seem like it is. And
the adaptation that human beings would make right now if the sun were to explode, that's something that you should make as a topic at one of these days, if you ever have an audience enough where they can all input into it, is, what would happen if the sun extinguished itself right now? I mean, we all kind of know, like, science has been telling us, the sun will not last forever. But they're like, oh, when is it? And it's funny, my daughter asked me this. She's 6 years old at one point. She said, Daddy, is the sun going to be there forever? And I said, well, no, honey, it actually isn't. But it will not be extinguished in my generation, or yours, or your children, or their children's 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 children's. I'm like, it's going to be there for a very long time. However, it will not be there forever. Definitely. 100%.
In the true sense of forever, but sometimes in like a person's mind, like, especially I would say, well, maybe a child's mind, like,
oh yeah,
forever
is...
it could almost seem like forever, but yeah, I guess like in a scientific mind, you'd have to say, well, forever is eternity, so I guess it wouldn't be for that long.
And that's the thing, I'm trying to get her to think outside the box, even this young, because I wasn't positive with those kind of questions when I was young. My parents didn't give a shit about any of that stuff. They probably just go play, go do your video games, or whatever the hell else I don't know what I was doing when I was 6. I barely remember. But the point is, like, no one, no father figure nor mother were saying, so how many planets are there? There's this, and did you know that this? And then sometimes when she asks questions, instead of me saying, oh, don't worry about that, I'll be like, that's a really good question. What do you think? Because she'll say something like, Daddy will... But But
It's
she'll be
so
like,
simple.
Daddy, Daddy, is there other human beings on other planets? And I'm like, that's a really good question. What do you think? And it's a tough one. You know what I mean? But it's good that she's starting to resonate with that, even though she has no visual capability of that and probably no real conceptual.
Well, could you
greater
imagine all
sense.
like the synapses and neurons that are like connecting when you even tell her like a single sentence like that? Like, you know what I mean?
have
You
been.
tell her like,
I
thinking
me,
about
I'm
her.
crafting it.
It's
Primal.
crazy, right? You're kind of making the possibilities happen in her mind
100%.
that way.
And I'm doing it not again by accident, but I'm doing it on purpose. And I do it very specifically and also slowly. Like I don't just be like, yeah, there's a whole lot of planets and check it out. And
Yeah,
there's
you
this
gotta give her
quantum
time to
physics and
kinda
blah, blah, blah.
catch
Yeah,
up. Yeah, like
good.
give her time to
Oh, I can hear you
evolve
now.
and think about it.
Hey, Kevin can hear us.
Oh, I can hear us. Listen to what Primal
Fuck,
Gamer
it sucks,
says,
man.
Kev.
This was good, but God, it's kind of sad.
Well, he's talking about like this is something in
Winnie the
regards
Pooh.
to that Tigger
Yeah.
movie that he saw, and this is something else that that could happen when you become older. Is you see the other side of that project,
Oh, yeah.
right? So as an adult,
Yeah.
he's seeing the adult situation in the movie.
Mhm.
He's saying
Right.
it's about how Tigger's wanting a family, realizing he's just the only one, is making him really depressed and lonely.
And like
so as an
Eeyore-
adult,
Eeyore
he's seeing
is
that
an
side of it.
embodiment of
Yeah.
depression. Yeah,
That is. Yeah.
Eeyore is.
Oh,
the
Tigger's a manic
embodiment.
depressive, right?
Is he?
Well,
I never
Tigger
watched the
is-
show.
Well, no, think about it. Tigger is bipolar, and then Eeyore is just mad depressive all the time, right? Eeyore is like, oh, bother, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that. No, it's true.
Eeyore needed help big time.
It's true though. It's true though. There's a lot of
What
things.
kind of animals
People don't realize
is
that
Eeyore?
about Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean?
Eeyore never smiled once. I mean,
Is
my
Eeyore
God.
an elephant?
No, he's a donkey. I think
There's actually a meme about it.
Like a messed up donkey.
a messed up donkey.
Hey,
That's
that's
racist.
That's just my opinion. Oh, racist! Come on now.
I was
Please.
joking. It's just funny. He's a messed up donkey.
I know it's funny. Come on.
Donkey.
Donkey.
Oh, Kevin, that's coming out great. If you can
I'm
hear
an
it.
ogre.
I like the inking here.
Yeah, look at this guy's face. He's just embedded in the ice. Thanks to
He's
that,
eating ice.
What is that guy? What is it called
wanted
again?
a snow-
they're
Damn it, he wanted a snow
the
cone.
Jankers? What are they again? The guys who get you? They're the Jankers or
Dibbicks.
wait, what?
Dibbicks.
Dibbicks. I wasn't even close. The Jankers. What is going on?
It's the Janker Dimmicks. Damn it.
That's funny. Those
Kevin,
damn
say
Dibbicks.
something so we can see if your voice is robotic.
Is my voice is robotic?
Nope.
No, sounds good.
You're
Sounds
good.
good.
You're good.
Yeah, copy that.
No, it's going out way too much. So like,
For you?
I don't even. Yeah, hell yeah. For the most part, I just hear it sounds like Transformers transforming the whole time.
Oh my god. Well, we can hear you clearly. At least I can.
Yeah.
So if you get,
I can
if
too.
you have something you want to say, we can hear you loud and clear 5x5.
Ba weep ground non weep ninny bon.
The universal language.
I see that Primal Gamer had said something like that Tigger is more ADHD.
Oh, that's why you
That's
relate
why.
to him. Huh?
Copy that. Hashtag
just-
fair.
Now,
Just-
Primal Gamer, does being ADHD help you in your video games like Call of Duty? Does that help because you can focus? Because like I don't have it, and I can't focus on the video game for more than like an hour. Like I'm done after like an hour. I'm out.
Just pop
I
in
wish
some
I could
Ribbit,
play for
we'll
like
be okay.
5-6 hours. I want to be in there and play. Then I get I mean I don't have ADHD, but I'm like I can't stick with the game either.
I don't have patience to do shit anymore.
What are you talking about? You're doing all this drawing, dude. Your drawing is freaking awesome.
I said if it's not drawing, it's not anything. I can't do it.
I know. Well, I feel the same way sometimes
I
about
can't watch TV. I can't watch shit.
Yeah, I feel you, but it's okay to be good at something and not necessarily other things because, look, I mean, for me, I've always been a jack of many trades. I never say all trades, but a jack of many trades, but master of none. And so when I see someone who's really, really, really good at something, it always impresses me. But I also look at it like video game stats, like, you know, if you put 8, you know, let's say you only have so many points, you could put all of it into strength, but then you're like, oh shit, my character's intelligence is 2. So like that's like how it, yeah, but well, check it out. But then the other side of it is you're like, well, why don't I just put 10s in everything? And you're like, yeah, but then you're just kind of mediocre at everything. Do you want to be that? And that's always a tough situation because you're like, sometimes that's not how it works. That's why I always think that when you think of these D&D parties, that's what made it a deal. Like even when I play video games, I would try to do that. I would like run a video game where I'd be like, you're supposed to have a party of 4 or 6, but I'd try to do it with just one character. And you know, you'd get your ass handed to you. You know what I mean? Because you'd be like, I don't have enough.
You know, like I would always bump up like in the couple of like games like that where I played. There was one I could remember. If you have played Knights of the Old Republic Star Wars game, they let you choose stuff like that, like intelligence, strength, and one of them was charisma, and you had a certain allotment of points. And since I didn't really know, I mean, I know what charisma is, but in the sense of the video game, I really didn't know what it do.
Right?
Yeah. Like I kind of was like, okay,
I know what you mean.
This is like the force. This is like your luck. This is like your. So I up that to be like.
That was kind of,
and I lowered the
charisma was like Han Solo handing it to you. Man.
That's what I thought. Yeah, so I was like, well, we need luck, don't we? We need the force, so we need a lot of charisma here.
Yeah, but you need the charisma to talk like Han Solo and get your ass out.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is discovering what skill sets meet, but that's not even what I'm getting at. What I'm also getting at is a more real world application, which is like, so sometimes having skill sets and everything is helpful, but then there's another time when you're like, well, what if instead of me having skill sets average and everything, I was good at one thing, really high level. Then we have this guy and they're this thing. And I mean, to be honest, I'm even doing that in Diamond Dragons. We have our musician dragon. We have our wizard dragon. We have our fire dragon who, you know, she's just basically like hardcore, like don't mess with her. She's a great fighter. And just all the other really iterations of it. And I think that's what makes good teams. And in a way, that's what makes good projects or even films. You know, you have people like Peter Jackson as a director, but he's not the costumer. You know what I mean? He's not doing all the side things. You kind of need one person with every skill set. So it's like, yeah, we need a Kevin, we need an Anthony, we need a Mundo. Maybe they'd even need someone like me who's a little bit more average at everything, but I don't know. But the point being is like, yeah, like right now I have Eamon doing the music, and there's no way I could compose and arrange music the way that this kid does it. There's no way. It's not my wheelhouse. Just like I cannot draw like you or Kevin and like Claudia, my artist. So like, why would I even do that? I want to put that stuff in those people's wheelhouses. You get the right people together and you end up having a really strong team that can move places and move mountains really. But even if you're missing one component, it can be deadly. Like, you know, imagine having, again, the best products in the world and no marketing. You're screwed. You know?
Yeah.
And that's where, in a way, that's where we're all at. You know what we both need? Both projects, both Albatross Junction, not like anybody's listening out there, but I mean, you know, we need good marketing and social media people who are like, dude, y'all got to get this out to 10,000 people because I guarantee that even 10% of those guys are going to be like, this is great, like I can't wait, and they'll all be like aboard. But what good does it do when we're just like, you know, plinking it out there and we're like, hey, 10 people liked our post, and you're like, that doesn't do anything in the long run. You know, we got to do something that really.
I definitely realized lately how important it is to like for people to like share the videos.
100%.
I kind of realized, you know, like when I find myself sharing videos that other people made on YouTube, and I'm like, you know, this is one of the reasons why the video will become a success, or you know, we'll get more views. And it's kind of the same thing here. Like you know, especially with videos like the trailer and the short video that Kevin made last week. I think he made like a 1.5-minute video, and
yeah, I saw it actually too. I liked it.
Yeah,
you got to know your target market as well. I mean, you know who the people that you want to, you know, come aboard and look at it. And,
well, somehow on like YouTube, it's like anybody can come walking in.
Yeah.
So that's the beautiful thing about being online is like you have access to, anybody in the entire world is there to see what you're doing. If things go right now, some of those things are like YouTube algorithms. Some of those things are different popularity measurements and different social media things feeding in, and obviously people sharing the videos and stuff like that. As for us, it's kind of like, even though it's been many months, it still feels like we're just getting started as far as like not just creating the content, but it's only been so long. I think that we've done it every single Wednesday. We chose that just because it's happens to be New Comic Book Day. But the one thing I heard is that consistency really matters. Like when I tell Matthew about maybe the possibility of doing some kind of live show in the future. It's like the one thing that would really help is, instead of just doing a live show and maybe you fall asleep for a week and then you come back the next week and do another live show on a Thursday and the last one was on a Tuesday. It's better if you just start them and say, listen, I'm just going to do these every Monday. Or whatever. And then people get used to that. Oh, okay, I'm going to come back because I remember Matthew said at 9 o'clock on Monday he's going to do it. Okay, I want to remember that.
It's a double-edged sword.
Stuff like that.
It's a double-edged sword.
At least people know when to find you as well as how to find you.
But even beyond that, the point is, if things get archived too, the point is they can always go and find them later. And you're right, Anthony, in a different sense when you were like, as long as you do it. So discipline and consistency are definitely, they matter. But then there's also the idea that discipline and consistency at what? Like, it's okay for us to be doing these podcasts and talking. This is great. We get to know each other, maybe learn some things. But it's like, in the long run, it's sort of like, you're going to want to have that input where it starts building audiences. Otherwise, you might feel like, well, why are we doing these things over and over, where it seems like spinning the wheels? It's not necessarily bad because it is discipline and consistency, period. But you're like, you want discipline and consistency mixed with result-oriented things. Like, that's why for me, I'm like, I need to keep working with my actors. I need to keep working with my composer. I need to keep working with my concept artists. And even these virtual table reads, they're accomplishing something. But the problem with those things are they all happen behind the scenes. And there really isn't anything for me to do right now with anybody who's like a community. I don't have one for one. And even if I did, like for example, here's a good way of putting it. If both of us right this minute, like instantly, we could change time and morph things and boom, Albatross Junction had 1,000 followers and Diamond Dragons had 1,000 followers. What would we do with them right now? And that's a really good question. Like, how would we, be moving that forward where they're like, yeah, we want to see this and we're rooting for it and we're all over it and da-da-da-da. It's hard to know, like, how would we maintain that unless it was simply about people saying, we just want to watch it. We're here to watch and we don't care and it's fine,
Well, even if they watch it, at that point in time, that's when you deal with what the onset at that point in time comes. Okay. When if those people come in at that point in time, like you were saying, Matt, then you deal with it at that point in time. You don't, if you're waiting for it instead of just let it happen as it happens, you get this sort of edginess, you're like, okay, come on, people, come on. No, but when it happens and it's going to come and it's going to happen fast, you're going to like, oh shit, now we got all these people. Let's take this, let's take this train for the ride. Let's talk to these people. Let's see what they like, what they don't like. Let's come up with all this information and do something with that information.
Yeah.
You see?
And to me, that's what takes experts. Because for me, I don't even want to try to get into that wheelhouse because I don't have enough knowledge on it. It would be just as soon as if Kevin and I said, hey, let's switch roles. I mean, not that I do fencing instructing anymore, but if I said, okay, we're going to have Kevin instruct fencing classes and I'm going to draw, he would probably come up with, pretty janky fencing instruction, as well as my drawing would be just deplorable. So it's almost like, I'm not trying to be weird about it. I'm just simply saying we should be realistic and say, yeah, we want to get the people who know how to market, know how to build crowds and crowdfunding, put that in the hands of those who already, they study that's their whole job. Whereas like, again, with Anthony and Kevin, their skill sets are in drawing and all the other things that they already know what they have strengths at. But the places where we don't have strengths, I'm not trying to say we don't want to do those, because you could learn, but if you don't know those, you shouldn't do them. And the reason I even know that is because I've seen people do that. I'll see people, for example, out there for years. You got to understand, Mundo, decades. I would see these people go, oh, well, I have a Jedi costume and a lightsaber. I'm going to go do some fight scenes live. And I'll be like, oh man, this is a disaster. Like it's terrible. These performances are bad. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know anything about storytelling. They don't know anything about fight choreography. They don't know anything about acting, but they're doing all these things because they're excited. And that's not necessarily bad. But then in the end result is you have something where you go, I can tell these people have no idea what they're doing. And so does the rest of the world. You know, I just watched a trailer where, this friend of mine too, in a writing group and whatnot, and he's a cool dude, and his trailer is all over the place. It's got interesting shots all over the place. The camera work is okay, and some of the acting is okay, but it's all over the place, and it doesn't tell a coherent trailer or teaser thing that will get you engaged. It just makes you confused. Does that make sense what I'm trying to tell you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, the one thing about like
So
YouTube,
that's the problem.
though, like YouTube in particular, it's still, you know, no matter how it is getting a little cloudy, believe me, but it still is YouTube, like you. So in the sense of the whole marketing thing, I agree with you, but at least if we're talking about YouTube specifically, it really should just be you. And I don't invite other entities or people or middlemen to come in and say like what Matthew should do. I just wholly think that Diamond Dragons for you and Albatross Junction for us, it needs to be the driving force in what you're doing. So like never stray from your plan for Diamond Dragons or what you see, or even if it's an evolving plan, like just make sure it comes from you, comes from your heart. And like that's where you're going to angle all your content towards. So like if you had 100 subscribers or 1,000, it should come from you, like what you want to do, and then that leads to where Diamond Dragons is going to go, because it should wholly be from what you want. And for the marketing side of it, for other entities, sure, I guess there could be people that know more about it and stuff like that, but certainly nobody knows more about Diamond Dragons than you. And for the YouTube specific people who would listen to you, if you had that audience, they would be wanting to listen to you. Like not somebody like whispering in your ear saying, "Oh, you should be doing this because for marketing reasons." Like no. This particular platform is for you being you. This is like just the assessment I get from like people who are successful at it. You know.
Well, I would argue it's a little of both. It's that you still need to present, like even this teaser that we created for you. Like when you and I went a little bit back and forth, where I'm like, well, I don't know if they need to see this or what about this and and we're just like, we're trying to tell a quick coherent story. Like it still needed to be shaped a certain way so that it was like, are they going to get it, and understand it? Because there's so many other ways that you could have even made your teaser. Trust me, that's what I was just alluding to. This other guy, he did this great video, but it's all over the place and it doesn't tell a coherent story. And so I could see how people would get turned off by it and they'd be like, wait, what the hell's going on? You still have to be a good storyteller, and you have to like shoot these things out there where that the communities can digest them in certain ways. I mean, hell, even my SRT videos for Diamond Dragons, they're not particularly palatable. It just depends, but it was the only way that I could get the information out there temporarily, until I can create some super proper trailer or I should say teaser. And probably even for you guys, you know what I mean? Like, hey, if you guys had $15,000, you could dump it into a company that could say, hey, we'll make you a really good teaser for Albatross Junction, where everybody will be like, I want to see this happen. Granted, you'd probably have to make some sacrifices just like I would, but it's like, there's a certain time and point in time where you have to say, well, yeah, there's some things where we go, I want to follow my heart, but I want to also listen to the professionals in that regard, like for distribution, for teasers, for marketing, for crowdfunding, for finding investors. There's all these kinds of things that I would just argue, what do we really know about that right now? I mean, unless we really do. I don't. You know, I'm not that cat. And
Well,
I'm
let
not
me just
Go
give
ahead.
you another point though. Is that like taking also again? I'm talking about YouTube, YouTube only. Is that let's say you had 1,000 people looking at your video. The beautiful thing about YouTube is you skip the marketing people because you are talking directly to them. That's the cool part about it is, so like, let's say you had 1,000 people that watch the video, you do a live stream, you usually get a percentage of those people might come into the live stream. So maybe 10%, so maybe 5% or less. So you get those people into the live stream, you have these people and they're the customers who are telling you directly like, hey, Matthew, that part's jank, or we love that trailer. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That type of thing. They're all giving you that feedback. There was one thing Primal Gamer said here. Video games, movies, and art are the only things I really concentrate on with my ADHD. And he just got done playing a 5-hour session of Call of Duty.
I just see his comment now too.
And he's actually on his way out, which we're going to be on our way out pretty soon too. Have a good night, Primal Gamer. Thanks for
have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping by, dude.
I actually wanted to tell you guys one thing about the trailer, and I hope Kevin's listening because he would probably find this funny because he's the only one out of us four, besides me, obviously, that knows my dad. My dad does not compliment anything, right? Like he does not. Nothing I do is like fantastic or anything like that.
Old school, yeah.
I sent him the trailer, and he said. He sent back one word. He said, enticing. So if he wants to know more about the story, then I think that's an incredibly good sign because he's so blasé. Wow. He doesn't care about really any of that stuff. So I was like, I know it's a good trailer now.
That's awesome, though.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. That's kind of like huge for you, Ant.
And I resonate with that, Anthony, too. Is just like, I don't look, and also you have to be, I'm not trying to be weird, but like we all have to have thick skin, is we have to also understand is, it's funny. I was just talking to this concept to a bunch of writers on this little writers group that I'm part of, where I'm like, there's really only 4 moves you can make with people's advice or their thoughts on your work, which is one, if they say, hey, Anthony, you should do this, that, and the other, you can be like, that's a great idea. I'm going to accept it and implement it immediately or whatever. Without question. The second thing is you can reject it and jettison it outright as well, where you're like, thank you for the advice, but I'm not going to use that. And the third one is you could do some kind of hybrid where you're
incorporate
like, well, no, the first one is definitely incorporate. The second is to just completely say no. The third one is you're like, I like some of the concepts you're talking. I get it. I don't know if I like that, but I could do a little bit of that. And then the fourth is they might give you some kind of advice that you're like, that's actually a very interesting idea, but it's completely non sequitur to our story and it has nothing to do with it and it just doesn't fit in at all. So fantastic advice, or at least interesting advice, but also no thank you. And those are really the only 4 possible moves you can make with it. And none of them have to do with an emotional connection like, oh, but don't you love my story? It's just more like, well, who cares if they like it or they hate it? They're either going to give advice that is good, advice that's bad, some advice that's a little mixture in between, or advice that you're like, that's weird. Like, for example, I had someone say, oh, you should have your dragons. They all should have like special emblems that glow on them when they do this, that, and the other. And then suddenly their powers go super cyan and everything. And I'm like, okay, like interesting, maybe for another story, but right. There you go. But I was like, interesting. It doesn't have anything to do with the story that I'm telling.
Oh,
but it's
man, Kev, that looks good.
Yeah, I know. Look at these guys. They're all like, boom. Kev, don't forget, you should have one where they fell on their back. So right there, like laying down, like, That's cool because these guys are all
you got one right here.
That one in the middle ground.
Oh, there he is. That guy. Oh, I didn't see. Yeah, he's like, yo, check it out, Matthew. There he is. That guy's laid out, man. Boom.
Oh, there's somebody in the middle.
I think I'm done, man. I think I'm done for the day, bro.
Yeah, I usually consider.
Yo, you hear me good now?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you the whole time. It's just that you said you had trouble hearing us.
It's fucked up.
Yeah,
But, you know,
I don't know. I missed a whole lot of convo.
we
It's
usually
okay.
wrap
We didn't
up
say anything.
after about 2 hours anyway, so we've been on about 2 hours. We can wrap it up. Did you want to say anything about this page that you've been working on, Kev? We've had some comments along the way, but I don't know if that you've heard them.
I didn't hear shit.
You want to say anything? You want to comment on anything about what you did on this page?
Well, I think you went a little line crazy, and I would appreciate it if you streamlined the next one.
Yeah, I could tell when you zoomed in there that there was a lot of cross-hatching and a lot of inking you had to do. No, but it looks good. Like, this guy's face looks to me like this is a real dead dude.
Yeah, he looked like one of them zombies.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, dude.
Nah, I can't hear you again. I don't know if
That
you can hear me.
guy just ate some ice.
He's an icebreaker.
Oh, dropping knowledge.
I will show you guys what I worked on. Let's switch cameras here. This right here, as I talked about before, is did it come on? Where'd it go? Oh, I have to make it big.
Yeah, I see it on your own cam. There you go.
Okay. So these are just page 25 and 26. I thought I was going to get more done on page 25 tonight. That's, you could see, is still a little bit undone, except for the bottom panel. But this page is 26, the one that comes after. It's a little more finished now. At the top, you could see Bernadette running toward these two astronauts here. As she leaps over the hurdle, she sees that they actually get killed by the space debris, and a couple other astronaut friends that are nearby also get hit with space debris. I had to take care of them quickly in like one page. And then hopefully you will see here too, like when Kevin colors it or whatever, that there's going to be a lot of like space debris, like showering in all different directions and stuff. So that's just another indicator, about what's going to be hitting people and stuff. So the next page will just be this main character here, Bernadette. She will be helping the other leader, who is not seen here, Mackenzie, fix the actual problem, and then they will be on their way back to Earth after that.
There you go. Yeah, it looks good. I mean, that's the thing, is especially when like a lot of action, high-paced action is supposed to happen, and then it goes to a comic book. It's like you really need that clarity with some of the imagery, but you also need that. Sometimes you want chaos, where you're like, at this moment, everything goes bad. Everything goes really badly. And then I think audiences will get that, especially once it's all colored in and people maybe make the distinctions between who's who.
Yeah, like that's what I was like. Actually, one of the notes on the side of the pages here is probably too small for you to read to Kevin or me if I end up coloring it, is make each astronaut's suit like a different shade so that we could tell, like, for instance, there's two females. Right. If he makes one of them a little purplier and one of them a little bluer, then we can tell that, like, okay, that one died or whatever.
Yeah, that's always a good idea when you have a lot of different characters, and especially when you're not necessarily going for realism, where you're like, well, all their suits would be the same. They wouldn't exactly make them in different colors and blah, blah. I'm like, dude, in Star Trek, even, they all have a little bit different variants. Sure, like, you know, a lot of the same type of people wear gold shirts and blue and red, but you're like, at least there's a distinction of sorts. So I totally get that. In a comic book, you could easily just say, yo, like, every character has its own color. That's what I'm doing in Diamond Dragons. I mean, all the dragons are purposely color coordinated in a way that, even if you just kind of glanced past the screen, you would know immediately who those characters are if you remembered even the slightest, tiniest bit about it. Like, as soon as you see a gold dragon, most of them would be like, that's Artemis, guaranteed, because there's no other gold dragons in this story. Well, except for Altaia, but she's only as a vision and an old past dragon, you know. But the point being is, like, yeah, it's always good for that, because then you get that visual acuity or whatever, where you're like, if you just showed people a frame and they knew anything about your characters, you'd be like, so what's going on with these guys? And they're like, oh, isn't that? And then they could name your characters. but it's always
I also try to pay close attention to like do that specifically here with these astronauts to also show that their differentiation for sure was one of the reasons. But Kevin and I know that this group of astronauts, they're like part of like the poorest city, so they actually don't even have like uniforms, uniform spacesuits. So they're kind of using like ragtag, just assembled spacesuits that they grabbed. So that's just something that's a little deeper, like something within the dialogue though on the next page is going to like further show that there's only two left. Someone's actually going to say, we're the only two left, Right. So it's got like through the drawings and then through the dialogue, because it's a comic book, like I'm pretty sure, I'll be able to like, if it's almost like if I can't do what I want to do in the drawing, I'll do it in the dialogue, So I'm trying to do both.
It's funny you
since
mentioned
it's a comic.
That's something that at least I can at least speak to. And I know we're at 2 hours and 10 minutes, so we should go, but I'll just say this real quick is as a writer, definitely do your best to study up on writing too. Is that what you're talking about there, which is great, by the way, is the difference between showing something through action and then telling it through exposition. Now, often you'll hear writers say like, you show, don't tell. And they'll somehow purport that only showing the action is valid, and telling the action is invalid. That's definitely not the case. But what it is you definitely need that careful balance. And in fact, usually, and this is part of, you'll understand this as a comic book writer, you want the visuals to tell most of the story. And then the exposition, aka the telling of the story, you want that to be at least not, it's not as, you don't want to even.
Yeah, like the way I look at it is like it supports the visuals. So that's kind of what I try to do. I try to show the people, and then like they turn the page, and then maybe it's like, wait, I'm thinking this. And then it's like they turn the page and they read something. It's like, oh, okay, affirm. Oh, that's or something like that.
Yeah, you want that where basically it's simple as
foreshadow.
If you're thinking as, you have to try to think as if you are not yourself, and if you were reading and experiencing it for the very first time. So then as things unfold, are you going to be able to comprehend things as they go? And sometimes you have to reaffirm some things. Like even in my own script, I had to make sure I'm like, I better retell the audience this aspect, because they're probably going to have forgotten about it. That was 30 minutes ago that I told them these things. So you need to reaffirm it sometimes. And sometimes you do it through a dialogue where someone says, like you said, we're the only two left. Or other times you just be like, people are going to see that. They're going to see that all the other astronauts are blown away. And then you just see these two lone astronauts looking at each other going, shit, that's it. And then you don't have to say, we're the only two astronauts left. I know, Bob, it's just you and me now. Oh, like that doesn't work so well, because then it's suddenly going, you're telling the audience something that they're going to feel like you're treating them like children. Because they're going to be like, well, no shit, I can see that. And they'll feel insulted, or it'll feel like a waste of time. But it does depend. Sometimes you have to tell them something, like where some characters like, well, why don't we just do this with that? And they're like, no, that won't work. And they're like, why not? Because there's this, that, and the other, and da-da-da. Didn't you ever study science when they, taught you all these classes? Jesus, you'd get us all killed with that. So just forget about it. It will not work that way. We have my way, or that's it. Unless anybody else has any good ideas, and I mean good ones, not this janky crap that you just pulled. Now, the nice thing about the way that I unfolded what I was just saying is it puts it on the audience's side where they're thinking, well, yeah, why don't they just radio for help? But if a character in there goes, hey, like, why don't we just use the radio? They're like, forget about it. I already tried it. It's fucking fried, dude. And besides, there's no one out there listening anyways. Then we would have to be on the fucking thing for 1 week's time alone just to get even the luck that someone was listening to that channel. And then suddenly you push that away and the audience is all, well, I guess the radio is out. You know what I mean? Even if it's all lies and you're just doing that to invent a reason why they can't use a radio. Because you could arguably have it where the radio is a possibility. But do you see what I'm trying to get at? That like, sometimes you want to have it where it's shown through action and nobody just goes, oh, well, we won't be able to use the radio because it doesn't reach far enough. That's
Well,
kind
You
of
want to know what my
boring.
secret
wanna-
weapon is?
Here's my interpretation of it,
Yeah.
and the way I see things. Okay,
Mhm.
me as an audience member. Okay,
Right.
is when I look at that page, and this is, like I said, Ant is talked about a few things, but he's not told me everything about the page at all. However, what I'm seeing and what I'm coming from an audience perspective is that bits and pieces of debris are flying all over the place. They're in space, shit's happening. There's a lot of interference going on in there. So therefore the radio is not gonna work what they're doing. You see, so me as a reader, when I'm seeing that, I already know there's no radio. There ain't no calling for help. You either get the shit fixed or you don't. We're fucked. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I was just
So-
making that as a metaphor, but I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
But I'm sure
no.
you know what I'm getting at too, Anthony, right? Is that it's like
Mhm.
you sometimes can build it with conflict. If you have two characters where one person says, "Why don't we do this?" In a way, you're having them speak as the audience, but then you have the other character fight them on it. So it creates a fun contention that the audience can enjoy while also getting information that you want to tell them, as opposed to just going, oh, well, it's just us two left. You kind of want to have it where literally they see every astronaut getting blown away, and then literally you have a frame. It's like the audience will go, and then there were two in their minds. They'll be like, oh God, the first there were 10 and now there's only 2. They'll
This
know.
is also my secret weapon right here.
Oh yeah, tell us the secret weapon, Kevin. Especially with that shirt. How many turkeys were destroyed to make that shirt, Kevin? I'm just teasing you.
I got this partner, Kevin, who checks over the script, and it's like 2 heads are better than 1 type of thing. So it's like,
for sure,
I might write down like some general ideas and stuff, but I know that he's gonna, like, for instance, for issue number 2, which I just finished. It's like I consider I just finished the draft, because I expect him to kind of go in and be like, look, like this, maybe sounds silly, or you don't need to repeat yourself here, or we need to add something here to make this make sense, or whatever. So yeah, like it's kind of cool. Like in your situation, you're working and it's you, so you'll have maybe an editor. You'll pass the script around. My first step is to give it to Kevin, because he's like kind of my my secret weapon there, like the editor, and he knows more about Albatross than me, so he could put the different insights into it.
Yeah.
Keep in mind some goals for the story that he wants to get in there.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind too, and that is great, but also you definitely want to have people who are outsiders look at it, who at least have an idea of storytelling. And the reason being is, if you only tell the story from a perspective is that you already know what's going on, you might miss the fact that while someone else who is going to one day experience it from zero, like in other words, they're going to start with zero knowledge, and you're going to want the story to be able to unfold where they get it as it goes. You won't be able to do that all that well on your own. And believe me, I know how that feels, because I'm sitting here trying to unfold Diamond Dragons, but I have to constantly go back and be like, okay, if I didn't know anything, would I understand all this, or am I going to start missing things? And it's really hard to be in that position when you're the writer and like you're super close to the work and you know what's going on, because from your perspective, you might skip over things because you already know what they're like in your mind. But if you're not telling it or showing it with your work, those things are only in your mind and they're not on the page. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because it's kind of
absolutely. Everything's got to unfold. Everything's got to unfold.
Like, for example, when you've been with us on Diamond Dragons, do you feel like it's been unfolding and you're understanding more, or do you feel completely lost? Like, what the hell is going on?
Oh yeah, I like the pacing of that story. I like how it unfolds. That's what I'm going for within Albatross, is more like of the idea of that Game of Thrones gave to me, which is like, everything has a sequence and an order, and this is how the way the story unfolds. It's like, this person has to be in this place because she has to witness it from this location, from this view, so it's like all these things have to unfold in a certain way. so that people are where they need to be, characters are where they need to be, and things happen like that.
And also, again, don't forget your audience is that while these things are unfolding, are they able to follow along? Because, don't forget that a lot of this stuff can happen really fast, especially, at least in comic book, they can turn the page as quickly as they want. For a film, it's definitely transpiring in real time. So if they miss too much, they can get lost. And when audiences get super lost, they tend to tune out. And that's either when actually one of two extremes happen. If you just deluge them with information, that's why I was giving you the hint where I said, hey, you should probably not give them too much of the buzzwords too quickly. And then the other extreme is to just bore them where you're like, going so slowly through the plot that everybody's like, okay, I got it. They're on a planet and they're lost. Okay. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen both films. Like, haven't you seen a film where you were like, oh my God, like there's so much going on. I'm so confused, but you're like, okay, I guess this happened. And I don't know. Right. And then there's the other movies where you're like, okay, I get it. Like, why are they spending 15 minutes doing basically the same thing? Do you see what I'm getting at?
Hopefully we find a fun
middle
avenue
ground
with Albatross.
Exactly. That's what I mean. You want that happy middle ground where you're like, the audience can follow along, but you keep throwing them a few curveballs so that they're kind of on their toes. But again, if you throw them too much too fast, then they'll tune out. And then simultaneously, like I said, the opposite. If you bore the hell out of them and you're just like, nothing really happens for 10 minutes, but they're on an ice planet, that's when everybody's like, oh man, this is boring. So I don't know. That's my perspective on it as a writer. And it's really hard to find that medium because you have like ADHD people who won't be happy with anything. They want a completely frantic deluge. But then you're like, well, then we alienate audiences who really want to follow a story. So it's like, it's always hard to know where to be with that stuff.
Like you said, Matthew, there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like what you're doing, no matter what,
for sure.
how you try to please. No matter how you try to please somebody, it's never going to come out exactly.
Well, let's try to. This is going kind of negative. I want to think positively.
But especially
let's not talk about the people who aren't going to like it. I'm all into the people who are going to like it, and a lot of people are going to like it.
But that's why I'm saying that's why I was getting to my point is you have to be, for you being in control, you feel what what you're writing about, what you're showing, what you're headed towards, what you like. Mm-hmm. And if you put the love into it, you put your heart into it, people are going to love it just the same as you do.
Yeah,
you see, that's my point. I wasn't trying to get negative, and I apologize if I was.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that, but I don't want to end the show saying of all the people who may not like the story. Let's talk about all the people who are going to love it, and let's play the trailer on the way out, and we will see what Matthew has done with the artwork Kevin and I did, and we watched it earlier in the show, but let's leave with it too because I'm super excited about the trailer. I think it's awesome. Does anybody have any last thing that they want to say before we roll out of here?
Come on, people, come have a drink at El Mundo.
Here comes the El Mundo clip, right?
I was searching for it, but I can't
find it. He's searching for it. Damn.
We'll have to act it out. Ready, guys?
I had the trailer queued up, and I was like, you caught me off my game, Mundo.
Uh-oh. That's hard to do with Anthony.
All right, here we go, guys. Anybody got anything else to say? I'm going to hit the button for the trailer.
Go for it.
Okay, I want everyone to just go and sign up at the IndieGogo for Albatross Junction. All you got to do is leave your email, and we'll keep in contact about future stuff. Here is the trailer.
The sun is gone. A voyage to a faraway world ends in tragedy. One last chance for survival is found on an unlikely planet. Genetic material brought back could change the future of our world. Albatross Junction.